It is finally Prime Day, and that means one thing. It is time to accessorize your Tesla. And I have gone through everything that is on deal right now, and I've compiled everything that's a good deal for your Model Y, your Model 3, even your Cybertruck. There's actually something in here that's kind of a hidden trick that I figured out. I've got the thing that you're gonna have to get to do it. So make sure you stick around to the end. There's a lot here to cover, a lot of really good deals today. And this is definitely the time to accessorize your Tesla. So with that, let's dive in right into the details here. We're gonna hit every item on this list. There's over 20 items here. We'll go through them as quickly as we can, but these are the items you should be looking at for Prime Day this year. So first up, here we have screen protector set for your new Model Y, Model 3. This comes with both the front and the rear screen. This is the matte finish, which I prefer. It's a lot less shiny and you don't get the glare from the sun. This is the way to go. Unfortunately, Spigen is completely sold out of these things, so that's not an option. This is the second best one out there that I can find. This is a really good deal at 26 bucks for this. That is definitely worth checking out for yourself. And next up, we have the seat back protectors for your new Model 3, Model Y. These are a no-brainer. These ones are an updated style to accommodate the new Model 3, Model Y as well. But these seat protectors are a lifesaver, especially if you have kids that are always kicking the seat backs. These ones are made specifically to fit the new Juniper Model Y and the Highland Model 3. So this one at 36 bucks, 37 bucks, that's a really good deal. And sticking with that theme, these car seat covers are a lifesaver for the back seat if you have kids. These are nice because they fold in different ways. So you can have the entire seat back, or you can have just the bottom if they're in a booster. But this, I'm telling you, it catches all the crumbs, all the Cheerios, all the crayons. This just helps keep your back seat a lot cleaner. And because it straps onto the headrest in the back, if you do have it all the way up for a full back seat, this is staying in place really nicely. This is a no-brainer. I have this in all of my cars, always have, and they've always held up really nice for me. At 25 bucks for Prime Day, that's a no-brainer. And then finally, we do have some mud flaps out here for the new Model Y. These ones are good for a couple of reasons. They are designed to be a little bit more low profile, so they're not as obnoxious and they'll have less impact on any aero drag. But these are really, really important because what happens with your Model Y is when you look at the shape of the car, what's happening, the side of the car is actually getting a lot of this impact right here. So if I zoom in, this area right here, forget the picture itself, but this area gets hit with everything from the front wheel. So having this mud flap is definitely something you're gonna need to have. And with these low profile ones, you're not gonna bottom out on speed bumps, and these are a low profile. They look like they were made for the car. They don't stand out. So at $40, these are still kind of pricey, but this is a good deal for how expensive most Juniper stuff is today. Now here's something really awesome. Of all the floor mats out there, there are some really good economy versions that I have seen for myself. And the super liner floor mats are really nice, but holy cow, $149.99 for the 7-piece. This includes the seat back protectors for the second row, the entire cargo bay, the sub trunk, the frunk, and of course the second row and first row. These are more of that kind of rubberish, really very similar to Tesla style, that texture of these floor mats, but these are a fantastic deal at $150. This is probably the best deal I've seen for an entire set, at least from a brand that is trustworthy and has a track record and reputation. So this is a really good deal for floor mats if you are looking for some of those. Now moving on to storage, we have our first storage item, the Spigen hidden storage box. The reason why you should look at this, and on this one does indeed fit in the Juniper Model Y, which has a much slimmer cavity here, but the reason why this is nice is if you keep a spare key in your car, this is a great place to put it where it's really hard to find. I always forget I even have this compartment. So when you're looking in the glove box, you're looking in the center consoles, nobody's gonna know it's there. This is a great place to hide stuff, and for under 20 bucks for Prime Day, fantastic deal. Continuing on with Spigen, that makes fantastic stuff, the best stuff. This is the center console organizer. This one goes actually on the top. So this one is just like all the Spigen products you've seen before. This is very nice, thick material, and the rubberized coating on the bottom, it's not just like a removable thing, it's all built in, and it is really nice, reduces any noise of things rattling in here. This is really a no-brainer. 23 bucks, definitely gotta have it. And of course, underneath that is the lower tray, and this one slides forward. You put the top tray down, you remove the top tray, you can slide this back, but this gives you essentially 3 layers of storage in that center console. This one is also very nice, thicker material, heavier duty, and the rubberized coating is really nice on this. Again, it's Spigen. If you've not experienced Spigen, you'll know what I'm talking about when you get it. It's just really good, nice stuff, and it's not overly expensive. And here on Prime Day, a little less than 27 bucks for the lower piece. And then the armrest organizer right here to finish up all these little trays that you're gonna need, 28 bucks. Again, no brainer. We do have a cutout on all of these to be able to slide cables through, which is important because of the limited outlets you get in the Juniper Model Y. Now this is something interesting. So Spigen is completely sold out of their underscreen storage tray, and it's really nice. I love the thing. It's really nice, but what it has is, you see this tray in the back that goes behind the screen, and then this thing is usually always open on the Spigen one, but this one's interesting because it closes. Now with the Juniper Model Y, it seems like everybody is sold out. So the ones that are available are not on sale, but this one is interesting because it closes. It's not always open, meaning you can hide your things, or even better, it's out of the way. So it's not always sticking down where you got to slide your phone down underneath here if you want to put it on the wireless charger. This is really interesting. The way it mounts is really nice too. This is a nice setup to consider if you're into that. So magnetic makes it easy, makes it simple, just like the Spigen one. This one is just a little bit different design, and it actually closes, which is pretty cool actually. Continuing on with storage, maximizing your space. The under seat storage is really cool because it's hidden, it's out of sight, it's out of mind, but also it stops things from rolling underneath your feet. And when you're driving, if a water bottle rolls down there, that's kind of a problem. This is a great solution for that. You can put all kinds of stuff in here, whether it's water bottles or you put some toe straps that you use from time to time, anything, it all goes in here, but it's got a lid. It's nice and closed off. It's not unsightly. All of that looks great. And next from Spigen, another option here for Prime Day. This is actually your charging adapter dock. Essentially, it goes on the back of the door card here. What's nice about that is it forces it in the area that's a lot less accessible for all of your stuff. So you can just grab this and not use up the prime space that's up front. So it kind of tucks towards the back of the door, and it holds that thing nicely in place. That way you don't lose it. It's not fumbling around, bouncing into everything and rattling. This thing is really nice. I have this in my car. Really nice to have. And I put my EV jack there actually, which is the perfect spot for it. Now, for those of you that have the base wheels with the wheel covers, it is finally time to start seeing all of the new wheel covers on the market for the Juniper Model Y. And what you might want to consider doing is getting this bag. I have this bag for my previous Model Y, which has wheel covers, and our original wheel covers are actually stored in this bag. What's nice is it's got a little kind of sleeve in between each so they don't get all scratched up. But what's nice is I can keep them all together, zipped up, closed up, and I just have this in my garage sitting on a shelf. This is the best way to store your wheel covers. And then for really a decent price, you can upgrade the look of your car with new wheel covers. But this is where you would want to put your factory wheel covers. And finally, we're seeing some pretty incredible prices on these things. 23 bucks for Prime Day. That's a really good deal. These things have been as high as 50 bucks in the past, which is crazy. But this is a really good option, a really good thing to have. You should really think about getting this if you have the wheel covers and you're wanting to upgrade the look of your car, put new wheel covers on. this is the best way to store your factory covers. The refreshed Model Y does have a new coating on the top window glass, and it does reject more heat. However, if you're in a hot climate, it does not reject at all. So in the summertime, this might be something worth considering. The nice thing about the newer ones is they give you the option to match the headliner so it's not black and darken the inside space that much. So this is a really good option to consider if you're in a hot climate, for the summer at least, to be able to close off that space for not a terrible lot of money. 48 bucks for this, and that is for specifically the Juniper Model Y. So this is different than the previous gen due to some changes in that headliner. For those of you that are more adventurous, this is a must-have. If you ever plan on camping or sleeping in your Model Y, you have got to get this set of window covers, because this set is a new version. And what I noticed is they now have a couple of suction cups built into the two doors, or the four doors, excuse me. This is interesting because what that means is you don't have to be so flexible to put these things on the window. Usually what I do is I climb in the car, close all the doors, and I'm laying there trying to get that last door that I got out of, put that on after the fact. This, they'll be able to just kind of stick there whether you open the door or not, and they won't just fall out. So that's really interesting. But this is a Prime Day deal at 56 bucks. This is the only way to camp. This will black out the windows, not just for your comfort, but to give you some privacy. So if you're trying to stealth camp in your Model Y, which is an amazing thing to do because of camp mode, this is definitely the way to go. And then Spiegen's new windshield cover is really nice too. This one is nice because of the way it folds up, and it's a lot cleaner when it's open. It just looks it doesn't look so cheap when it's set up, which is nice. And it comes with a nice storage bag, and this is folds up in a way that you can just kind of tuck this into your door. So if you use a windshield screen like this to keep the heat out, this is the way to go. This is compatible with the new Model Y and the Highland Model 3. Now this one I had to bring up because I saw this, and this is the first time I'm seeing one of these. This is a steering wheel, not for the new Model Y or 3, but the previous generation where you have both stocks. This is designed just like the Cybertruck steering wheel, which I love. And I saw the price and thought, man, I hope somebody buys this because I want to see this thing and I want feedback on this. This is really cool. The steering wheel in the Cybertruck is the most comfortable steering wheel of all of them. Circle, yoke, squircle. This thing is the best. So putting this in your previous gen Model Y would be really interesting. I'd love to hear somebody's feedback if you end up looking into this, but I wanted to share this because I saw it, and it's really not that bad of a price for aftermarket doing this. So something to really look at. I hope one of you takes advantage of this because I want to know more about this. Something I do every Prime Day is I buy windshield wipers because I keep these things every 6 months or so. I replace them, and down here in the heat, they get worn out just enough that any little streak, my wife goes berserk. So I just replace them every 6 months. These have always been a good deal. These are OEM like replacements, and Prime Day at 24 bucks. I usually buy 2 sets every year just to have for the whole next year. So definitely worth checking that one out. This is quite possibly my favorite item on the list for today. This is my secret hack. So what I have done is I've taken this splitter, I've plugged it into the USB in the glove box, and with that I have my Sentry mode storage device on one of these USBs, and then I have another USB-A that has all of my light shows on the second USB-A plug. And then see that USB-C plug, I use that to power my phone charger that sits on the side of my screen. So I don't have cables coming to the center console anymore. Everything goes nice and clean into the glove box. This is actually one of my favorite hacks that I've figured out, and I had to try so many of these things to get one that actually works this way. This is the one you got to get, and it is really cheap. After 20% off, I mean, this thing is just too good of a deal to pass up. It's under 10 bucks for this thing. It is perfect. Throw it into your glove box, plug all your stuff in, and set it and forget it. Gotta have that thing. And speaking of Century mode, this is the upgraded flash drive that I use. Some people use a full terabyte. I don't. Maybe on a Cybertruck I will, because it seems to get a lot more events. This is just like the one that comes in your car, same style. It's Samsung brand, but this gives you twice the space, and I have this in my cars. This is worth it. It's not all that expensive. On Prime Day, we're talking 22 bucks to upgrade to 256 gig, which is perfect. It is the right speed, is good. It will work for any Tesla that you have with no issues. This is really awesome. I just got one of these recently and I checked it out. I love this thing. It's amazing. It is battery powered, so you just charge it up and this thing takes care of the Cybertruck like way better than I expected. And because it's battery powered, you wouldn't think it's that great. It actually pumped up the Cybertruck tires faster than the plugged one from Tesla that's 550 bucks. But I noticed that for Prime Day, it's on sale for 150. Now that is for the big one. If you don't have a Cybertruck or big SUV, the X9 Pro is the more portable, compact one that's perfect for your Model Y, perfect for your Model 3. It's also on sale for Prime Day. This is also battery powered. What's great about that is these things, you just toss them in your car. You don't have to worry about having a 12 volt or a 120, any of that. It's just all battery powered. You can use this to top off your tires on road trips. This is coming into the time of year where your tire pressure is probably going to start to sway a bit, and having one of these on the spot is way better than looking for a place to air up your tires on the road. For the Cybertruck owners, here are all of the accessories. We've got, of course, the center console trays. We have an upper and a lower. The upper one just goes right up top. It's the same type of thing, very heavy duty material, and it has the rubberized coating. The bottom tray is all rubber. It's not plastic, and it gives it flexibility so that it conforms to the bottom really nicely. But this gives you a place to put some items that they're not just rolling around and bouncing around on the plastic sides. 16, 17 bucks for the lower one, 28 bucks for the upper. That is super cheap and a really good deal to upgrade, actually upgrade how your Cybertruck works on the inside for storage. This is definitely a must-have. In our Cybertruck, one of the first things I got was this under screen protector. This one from Spigen is actually a little bit more cyber design, so it's angular, which is really cool, but this is really awesome. I always use this, always stuff in here, and the way that it attaches is magnetic, so it's pretty easy. This one from Spigen also comes with a tray that goes behind the screen, which is actually really nice, kind of like in our Model Y. So this one is even better than the one that I have. This is something that I don't know if I've broadcasted a whole lot, but in my Cybertruck, I have a safe. For the bottom half, I actually have this bad boy down there. What's nice is fingerprint activated, or if you remove this, there's also a key, but I use the fingerprint, and if the battery ever dies, there's this USB-C plug right here where you can hop some power to it just in case that battery ever dies. I've had it in there for a year. It hasn't died yet and shows no sign of it, but it's really cool. It's really simple setup, so it's not a whole lot of crazy stuff to do, but basically you have two walls to go on the sides to hold it in place, and then you have this top piece that includes the door, and that is basically it. It's nice because you can store really important stuff down here without having to worry about it being accessible by kids or anybody else without your permission. Of course, we're gonna have the screen protectors, and Spigen fortunately has not sold out of the Cybertruck set. So we have the front screen here, and then they also, of course, have the rear screen as well. But right at the beginning, have them there, always protected, especially in your Cybertruck, a little bit more rugged. You might have things in and out of there. It's just a good way to protect a very expensive screen in the front and a very expensive screen in the back. I have seen a lot of Cybertrucks out there with these tow hook covers in different colors, and it's quite honestly a lot of fun. I like seeing these. But for Prime Day, there's some pretty decent deals. So it's 20 bucks for the red one, but the orange one is 15 or 16 bucks. Blue is 16 bucks. And I guess yellow is 15 bucks. So actually really cool, good deal for these. These are really simple. There's nothing special about mounting them. They kind of just grab on. And so there's not a lot of effort to put them on, but it gives it just a little hint of color. Every time I see them, I like them. I think it's probably about time I get these for myself. One of my favorite early accessories that everybody always points out when they see my truck, I have this cover on the back, and it's rubber, and it, instead of having this base of plastic here where when it's wet it's very slippery, because I actually step up here, this is a great way to add a little bit of protection, but more importantly, this rubber grip prevents you from slipping off the back of this. This is super easy to install. This is one that's seriously no brainer, especially now at 27, 28 bucks. That's really cheap. So I love this thing. It's still on there for over a year. It's still sitting on there, and I've not had any issues with it. There's a couple of cool new accessories that have come out recently for the Cybertruck that I have not yet checked out that I really want to. They are kind of pricey, but they are on sale for Prime Day. This one is a plug. So you get a USB-C input, a USB-A input, and then you get two USB-C cables that actually pull out, plus the 120. This goes in your center console. So it's got a flat face here to plug in nicely underneath there and bring all that power up to the top. So what that means is, if you look at this picture, now everything's accessible rather than being down in the bottom and fumbling with everything. This thing's always mounted here, and the way that it sits, it's kind of tucked away, so it's out of sight, out of mind unless you need it. And it does give you a display of what kind of power output it's giving you at that time, so you can monitor how much juice you're using. But really cool, because you can power a lot of devices straight from that 120 that's underneath that center console. This just gives you way more access to using that plug. And there's another coupon here, so you can get basically, you know, close to 25% off on this thing for Prime Day. And then similarly for the rear, this hub right here takes your two USB-Cs in the back and turns that into two USB-Cs and two USB-A. So now you have 4 plugs in the back, and they're not so tucked away where you can't reach them. But this is great if you use the back seat. This is very convenient. So some of your devices that still have cables with USB-A, and with your kids in the back, this just makes it so much easier to get to all that. Plus, it does not take the 120 that's under there too, so you still have access to that 120 volt plug as well should you need it. This one is definitely a nice to have. So those are the accessories you've got to check out for Prime Day. There's a lot of really good deals out there. I tried to keep it specific to Tesla. There's a number of things I'm looking at for me personally, but these are the things that are no-brainer. If you have a car on order, if you already have a car, this is the time to get those accessories. The best deals of the year are Prime Day for these types of accessories. There are bigger accessories out there where there's better deals later on in the year, but this is the time of year to get this stuff. So let me know in the comments if I missed something, if you found something that's completely insane price out there that everybody needs to know. Let me know in the comments. Let everybody know in the comments what that is. I thank you so much for joining us today, and I can't wait to catch you on the next one.